Moving to a new country on your own can be both exciting and a little overwhelming. In 2023, Canada welcomed almost 500,000 new immigrants, so you definitely won't be alone on this journey. In this video, I will walk you through the essentials of moving to Canada. I will cover immigration pathways, visas, the cost of living, how to find jobs and housing, and tips for packing and settling in. So without further ado, let's get started. Step 1 is picking the right immigration pathway. First things first, how will you move to Canada? The country offers several immigration programs. Two of the most common options for skilled workers are Express Entry and Provincial Nominee programs. Express Entry is Canada's point-based system for skilled immigrants, covering programs like the Federal Skilled Worker Program, Federal Skilled Trades, and Canadian Experience Class. Express Entry awards points based on age, education, work experience, language skills, and other factors. In 2023, a new category-based selection was added to prioritize people with experience in high-demand fields such as healthcare, trades, tech, transportation, and agriculture. This means that if your skills match Canada's needs, you could be invited to apply more quickly. On the other hand, if you want to settle in a specific province or territory, a PNP could be a great option. So PNPs are essentially a partnership between provinces and yourself. PNPs typically offer streams for students, workers, or individuals with job offers. There are other pathways too, depending on your situation. For example, the Atlantic provinces have a unique program called the Atlantic Immigration Program for those who want to live in Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, or Prince Edward Island. There's also startup visa for entrepreneurs and pilots for farm workers and caregivers. If you're young, you might want to consider a study or working holiday visa, depending on your home country, to come as a temporary resident and later transition to permanent residence. The key takeaway here is that it's important to research your immigration pathways thoroughly. Use resources like the IRCC website or consult with reputable experts. Review your qualifications and find out which provinces have programs that match your profession. Canada frequently updates its immigration targets and programs, like the 2025 to 2026 Immigration Levels Plan, which recently adjusted targets for skilled workers, students, and family reunification. Staying informed about these changes can help you choose the fastest and most suitable path for you. Step 2 is budgeting and the cost of living. Money is a big concern when moving abroad, and you'll need to have savings for things like visas, flights, the first few months' rent, and emergencies. So let's talk numbers. Canada's cost of living is generally high in its major cities. A recent report estimates that the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is around $2,000 per month nationwide. In larger cities, it can be even higher. Vancouver's average rent was about $2,500 per month in late 2023. Toronto and Montreal are slightly cheaper but still above the national average, with rent around $2,400 in Toronto and $2,000 in Montreal for similar apartments. Smaller cities and towns can be much more affordable, with rents closer to $1,200 to $1,500 for a one-bedroom. For a solo newcomer, monthly budget items typically include rent. Expect to pay around $1,200 to $2,000 for a one-bedroom. Consider sharing a space or choosing a more affordable neighborhood for your first year to save money. There's also utilities, which include electricity, heating, and water, and may add another $100 to $200, though sometimes utilities are included in the rent. Then there's groceries and food. On average, single people spend about $500 a month on groceries. Then there's transportation. In larger cities, public transit is common. Monthly transit passes typically cost between $100 to $150, depending on the zone coverage. If you plan to buy a car, especially outside major cities, factor in gas, insurance, and parking. Next are phone and internet. Mobile plans cost between $60 to $100 per month, and home internet is similar. Last but not the least are miscellaneous. Don't forget health insurance, as newcomers may have to wait a few months for public health care in some provinces, so interim private insurance might be necessary. Then there's clothing, entertainment, and other personal expenses. All in all, the monthly living costs for a single person in Canada can range from $2,500 to $3,000 per month. This can be lower if you choose a smaller city or share accommodation. Step 3 is finding a job. Finding work is often one of the top priorities when moving to Canada. Some in-demand sectors include healthcare, trades and construction, tech and engineering, and transportation and logistics. Statistics show that immigrants make up about 28.9% of Canada's workforce, indicating how essential newcomers are to the country's economy. While entry-level wages may be different from what you're used to, the potential for career advancement and higher salaries in certain fields is certainly there. Step 4, finding a place to live. Housing is a major concern when moving to Canada. Currently, there's a housing shortage. The nationwide vacancy rate was only about 1.5% by late 2023. This means there are very few homes available. The situation is even more intense in large cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, where many newcomers settle. As a result, finding rental housing can be both competitive and expensive. There are a few things that you can do to prepare. First is to search early. Begin your housing search before you even arrive. Websites like realtor.ca, Kijiji, Craigslist, and local rental sites list available apartments. Next are temporary housing. You can book a short-term place such as an Airbnb for your first month. This gives you a base while apartment hunting and provides time for things like credit checks or securing landlord references. Next are roommates. Many newcomers opt to share apartments to save money. Just make sure to find trustworthy roommates using social media groups or newcomer networks. Next is credit history. When you first arrive, you won't have a Canadian credit score or rental history. Landlords may ask for a guarantor or a larger deposit. Providing a letter of employment or recent bank statements can also help. Then there's housing search services. Some nonprofits or settlement agencies offer housing assistance to newcomers. They can provide guidance on tenant rights and standard rental prices. Always be cautious of rental scams. Never pay cash without a contract, and be wary of offers that seem too good to be true. If you are planning to buy a home, keep in mind that the process can be quite different from what you might be used to. Mortgages and the housing market in Canada can be competitive, with the down payments typically ranging from 15 to 20%. For most new immigrants, it's common to rent for the first year or two until you've built up credit and savings. Step 5, social life and building a support network. Here are some friendly tips to help you connect. First is to join immigrant and language groups. Many cities have community centers, churches, or NGOs. Next is volunteering. It is a great way to meet people while giving back. Around 23% of newcomers volunteered in their communities last year, whether it's helping out at community festivals, food banks, schools, or immigrant support organizations. Volunteering not only helps build your network, but also adds valuable Canadian experience to your resume. Next are clubs and classes. You can also take up a hobby or join a class. Whether it's a soccer team, dance class, or book club, local recreational centers often offer programs for newcomers. So put yourself out there. Join a meetup group, attend events, or simply hang out at your local library. There are plenty of ways to find your community. Step 6, packing and settling in. Finally, here are some practical moving day tips to help you settle in. Canada's climate can be extreme. Be sure to pack clothing for all seasons. A warm winter coat, hats, boots, and gloves if you're arriving in winter. Avoid overpacking bulky items because you can easily purchase most household goods once you arrive. So it's often better to ship a few boxes and buy the rest locally. Next are documents and essentials. Keep important documents in your carry-on bag. This includes passport, visa or confirmation of permanent residence, job offer letter if applicable, and some Canadian currency. It's also wise to have a copy of your immunization records and any prescriptions you may need. After clearing customs, activate your phone, get a local SIM card or international plan, and head to your temporary accommodation. If you're moving directly to a long-term rental, do a walkthrough with the landlord and make note of any missing or damaged items. In larger cities, get a transit pass and familiarize yourself with the routes. Google Maps and local transit apps are very useful in Canada. In smaller towns, check if there's a shuttle or bus service. If you plan to drive, you'll need a valid license. many provinces accept your home country's license for the first few months. But it's a good idea to get an international driving permit or apply for a provincial license as soon as possible. In summary, moving to Canada on your own is a bold and exciting adventure. It comes with its challenges like figuring out visas, budgeting, and finding a place to live. But it also opens the door to new opportunities in your career, community, and personal growth. Immigrants now make up nearly 29% of the workforce and play essential roles in fields like tech, healthcare, and business. Thousands of people have successfully made Canada their new home. And you can too. Thank you for watching and welcome to Canada.